Governor Jan Brewer isn't afraid to take a stand, and that's led to a number of political enemies, from abortion to immigration.
Jan Brewer, what she's doing in Arizona is un-American.
Her enemy list has also helped her become a conservative superhero across the country.
When you hear that phrase, what goes through your mind?
Well, it's unbelievable to me. I think that they say that, and I think then they expect so much from me that sometimes I feel like I can't live up to their expectations.
She's lived up to expectations by putting her governor's signature on a number of conservative causes. For example, the Bible can now be taught in high school history courses. She eliminated domestic partner benefits for state employees. She balanced the budget through tough budget cuts, and even brought back the state Christmas tree. Then there's abortion. Dozens of pro-life bills have been made law, including banning most abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy and defunding Planned Parenthood.
Any politician who attacks birth control the way Jan Brewer has just attacked birth control, she will pay a price at the polls.
You know, it wasn't tough, really, for me, because I believe in what I believe. I believe in the right to life.
Brewer's toughest fight came over immigration and went to the Supreme Court. The famous Senate Bill 1070 allows Arizona law enforcement to check the immigration status of anyone during routine stops. Critics call it racial profiling, while proponents see it as enforcing U.S. immigration policy. The court held up that part of the law.
The signing of a Senate Bill 1070 was a very difficult time for me personally, because I knew immediately, although we monitored the bill and amended the bill in the legislature, that it was going to be a lightning rod. However, I didn't know or realize at the time just how big of a lightning rod it was going to be. Many a night I would sit on my patio and think, you know, Jesus, hold my hand. You know, you got me here, now you've got to get me through all of this.
She relied on that divine dependence often.
Of course, your faith, I'm sure, must have gotten you through many of those tough times, including John, your son, who passed in 2007 of cancer. What was that like, and how did you deal with it, especially from a faith perspective?
God has always gotten me through it. He's never ever let me down. Sometimes I haven't always understood why he has done things and why things happen, but I know that God has a plan, and he has opened up so many doors for me, and he's given me a shield on so many occasions where I thought the whole world was going to fall apart around me, and I'd be standing there alone.
All of these hardships toughened an already tough Brewer. It's something President Obama found out firsthand. Maybe it's appropriate that Governor Jan Brewer is governor out here in Arizona, the wild, wild West. She definitely shoots straight from the hip. And one person that knows all about that Wild West style is the President of the United States. Cameras captured an animated Jan Brewer pointing her finger at the president when she greeted him at the Phoenix airport.
And he said, the last time we sat down, Jan, he says, you weren't very gracious to me in regards to how you reflected it in your book, Scorpions for Breakfast, or something to that tone. And he says, he was very, I said, well, I'm sorry about that. I said, I'm sorry you were disappointed. I says, but my book is a truth-telling book. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt that, you know, you were like lecturing to me rather than discussing things with me. And he really resented it. You could tell it. And I was in the middle of my sentence, and he walked away from me. And of course, the press saw that. And unfortunately, I was talking. He walks away, and I turned to him and I said, Mr. President, did you read my book? He turned around to me and he said, excerpts. And that was the end of the conversation. And but I talk a lot with my hands, right. And you know, it was an uncomfortable encounter. It just simply was an uncomfortable encounter.
Now the president hopes for payback, as his campaign thinks they have a chance to win Brewer's home state in the fall election.
The Obama campaign is making a serious play for Arizona. They think it's a swing state. Does he have a chance to win this state?
Well, I will tell you, not on my watch. Arizona is a red state, and we're going to keep it red.
Nobody knows exactly what the future holds for Jan Brewer, but she plans to continue moving on the only way she knows how.
I got involved in politics because I believed that I could make a difference. And my mother always told me that as you go through life, no matter what you do or how you do it, you leave a little footprint, and that's your legacy. And I'm Norwegian, and so I got a little Norwegian backbone. And if people get me in a corner, sometimes I do get a little feisty. But, you know, I try not to be mean or hateful, and I try to listen to people. But I think I would describe myself as someone that listens, that truly wants to be a good public servant and doing the right thing.
David Brody, CBN News in Phoenix, Arizona.